to Vegan Styled Life. I'm Ellen Champion, and I'm the owner and life and relationship coach of Champion Relationship Coaching. And
I'm James Lucas, the owner of Great Cat. We sell high-quality vegan and eco-friendly clothing accessories made without cruelty at greatcat.com.
And I brought a pocketbook, one of my favorite pocketbooks that I got from him. Isn't this wonderful? And it looks small, but it's so roomy I could fit so much stuff in there. I don't know if you could tell, but it's really, it's very nice. I love this pocketbook. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up. So today, do you have any reviews? Restaurant reviews?
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember. We went to Baltimore for the Baltimore Veg Fest. And then we were in Easton Public Market this weekend. It's not a vegan market, but there's some vegan options there. The pizza place has a vegan option. There's a noodle place that has a vegan option. There's some vegan chocolate there. So it was pretty nice. We want to go back and check it out.
I'm sorry, where was this?
Easton Public Market in Easton, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This weekend, I've gone back to a place that I haven't been to in a while. I was visiting my son, so we went to this restaurant called Rosendale Cafe. It's in Rosendale, New York, which is close to New Paltz, if anybody knows that area. And it's a vegetarian, not vegan. It's a vegetarian restaurant. And when I was a vegetarian, I loved that place. But it is vegetarian. They do have some vegan options, and of course they can make most things, doctor it up and make it vegan, and they know what they're doing because, that's their market, so they understand things. So I was there with my whole family, and I don't know what happened. I think that I'm just different now because I'm vegan and I've been vegan for so many years, and I don't know, but I didn't love it. I'm sorry. I mean, it wasn't horrible or anything like that, but I used to love it. I used to really, my eyes rolling back loving it. And I just didn't feel that way. I had a special. They had shepherd's pie, and I don't know why they called it shepherd's pie. It looked like a shepherd's scramble. It looks like it was like, you know what I mean?
Was it in the actual
it
pie?
Was no,
it didn't have a crust to it?
It was like a scramble. It wasn't done like in a casserole dish normally, and it's like, and then there's a thick layer of, or some kind of layer of mashed potatoes. It was just like a scramble, which I guess is fine because it still goes in your mouth the same way. But I don't know, it just didn't look appetizing to me. It did taste good. It didn't taste great. It tasted good. It was good. I know my husband had the, the tempeh Reuben. And again, I used to love their tempeh Reuben when I was a vegetarian. But with the vegan cheese, I don't know what it is, but it just didn't, I don't know. Maybe I'm just different now. But I just wasn't writing home about this. And I started filming it. And I do have a film of the inside and the outside. It's really charming. It is charming on the outside, especially if it's nice weather. It was so relaxing, and it just felt like you were in some idyllic place. And it was just wonderful. It was just beautiful. So I am at Rosendale Cafe in Rosendale, New York. And this is the outdoor garden where we could eat. You see the doggy and the flowers, and it's just really pretty. No smoking here. For me, that's important. I'm going to show you upstairs in the room. So this is it. You walk in, the kitchen, and here is the room. And they have entertainment. If you could see where the curtain is, they have entertainment on certain nights, bands and music and dancing, and it's really kind of fun. So this is Rosendale Cafe, and I will catch up with you again when the food comes. I'll speak to you soon. And the soup was very good. I had the soup. That was really good. But I don't know. I just wasn't, maybe as a vegan, I'm just different now. I don't know.
as a vegetarian, loved it. So anyway, the thing here is it's not a horrible place. It's actually kind of a nice place. They have music and all different types of entertaining there on different nights. One time years ago, I went to a New Year's Eve party there. It was packed. Good music. But anyway, go try it out for yourself. See what you like. Rosendale Cafe in Rosendale, New York. Thank you. So, the news.
Yep.
So there's pretty upsetting news here, and happy news. So we're going to do the upsetting news first, because I'd rather leave you smiling. Where is it? Oh, that's the other one. Where is it? Here it is. So, did you want to say something about it, or do you want me to?
You found it.
All right, I found it. So the title of this article that I'm reading is "Cowboys are wrangling mother cows to milk them as part of a cruel rodeo show." Now, of course, all rodeo shows are cruel, but this takes it up quite a bit of notches. It really does. And they're also including sheep. And they want you to stop it now. So there is something that you can do. So what I can tell you is this. Let me see. It's becoming more brutish. I mean, they're going into how brutish it is, just regular rodeos, but it's even becoming worse. The events now involve molesting forlorn mother cows and saddling frightened sheep are about to be added to the program. So I could go into this. It's really, there's a lot of information about it that we just posted on Vegan Styled Life Facebook page. So please go there, check it out. And there's going to be a petition that you could just sign your name. It's really easy. You just click a button. That's it. And your name is attached to the petition. So there's really no reason not to. You know, it's just like really easy. It will take a second. So just please go on our site and there'll be more information. Is there anything that you wanted to say though?
No, I mean, this is just part of the romanticism of animal abuse. We call these things entertainment, and they're really not. We need to start calling these things out as animal abuse and not entertainment. So yeah. I think it's important that we start voicing that this isn't how society should be run.
Yeah. Anyway, I could go into it, but honestly, you could just read it on Facebook, our Facebook page, Vegan Style Life. All the information there, all you have to do is click a button and your name will be on the petition. So please, please do it. I did it. Please do it too. It'll take a second. Okay, now to something to make you smile. There is a former jail in Maricopa County in Arizona. Which is the Phoenix area, right?
Yeah.
Phoenix area. And the jail is now an animal shelter where prisoners look after abused dogs. And it looks like it's a female prison. Not that matters, but I'm just saying. And it's just, oh my goodness, I should post this also, just to make you smile, you know? And you could see the dogs are just so happy, and it's probably great therapy for the inmates as well. I don't know, is there anything else that you wanted? It's a 6 days a week. Women at the prison are moved to the shelter as part of the 30-day program. Oh, it's only a 30-day program. Okay. Well, I still like it. Okay, so I'm going to send this out into the Facebook land, and please check it out, and you'll smile and you'll feel better about after you sign the petition to help the bulls and the cows and the sheep. Thank you.
Yeah, this is also a way to give people more compassion. Mm-hmm. If you're compassionate towards an animal, then maybe you'll be more compassionate towards a person too.
Yeah.
So it's also giving them skills that they wouldn't have access to any other way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So let's do the fun stuff. As we said the last show, people have told me anyway that, they would like to hear more about who we are and why we're doing this, and about our vegan history and animal rights history and how we became who we are today, and just, so you could get to know why we're doing what we're doing and why we're so passionate about it. So that's what our topic is going to be. It's going to be our
Journey.
Our journey. Yeah, our journey. So why don't you start? Is
Okay.
that okay?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in California, eating meat for holidays and family functions. My dad taught me how to barbecue. My mom was a good cook, and so I really loved food, and was an adventurous eater. I would eat anything I probably could get my hands on. But I also loved animals, and I loved going to the zoo and the aquarium, and I never put those two that they were connected. Because I would never personally hurt an animal, but I was paying people to hurt animals. And the connection didn't even happen. Like, we would go to the farming section of the zoo when I would play with the cows and pigs and stuff, and then go back to go have lunch and have a hot dog or hamburger. Like, the connection just never made it to me. So when I was 35, the connection finally came together, and I became vegetarian. And I was vegetarian for a long time until I started the Bucks County Vegan Supper Club. And a large group of us were vegetarian, and after discussing it and thinking about it, and we're like, this is just silly, because at that point I was down to just cheese, milk, and eggs, which is a lot still. I guess that's pretty much vegetarian, but so after starting the group, a group of us became vegan, and a lot of the people in the group, I think everyone's vegan now that's in the group. So all the core members are vegan. So it's really became a health reason. It started out with an animal reason, but then I learned about the health benefits and the environmental benefits, and there's really no excuse not to become vegan, especially now that products are easier to get, recipes are easier to get, there's plenty of cookbooks, restaurants are opening up all the time. Even popular fast food restaurants have vegan options if you're creative enough. So it's really becoming easier and easier every day, and if you're not changing at least step by step, doing a vegan Mondays or meatless Mondays or something just to move in that direction, I don't know what would motivate you to do that, but it definitely changes the way you deal with life. Vegans are happier, they live 6 years longer, they're not as obese, so a lot of these, there's nothing wrong with it, there's no downside to it. The hardest thing is going out to a restaurant, trying to figure out how you can make something vegan at a non-vegan restaurant, but that's not the worst thing.
Not at all. Not at all. So you were much older.
Yeah.
You were much older when you started to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how has it changed your life?
Well, now I have a group of friends that I didn't have before, so that that common bond of having this veganism.
Yeah.
Because of that, I started my business to make it easier for people to buy vegan goods. The whole family's vegan. It's just, I've opened my eyes to my parents. When we go to my parents' house, we have vegan meals there.
You are so lucky for that.
Yeah,
you
no,
really
I'm
are. So jealous.
I realized talking to other vegans that my parents are, my mom,
awesome.
Like I said, my mom's a great cook, so for her it's not really that big of a deal. And if she has questions, like we even got my dad to eat the vegan taco crumbles. He doesn't know the difference, so we don't tell him.
Oh, but they show you respect with your decision.
Yeah, they definitely
And
respect the decision.
That's where my jealousy comes in.
Yeah, you know, and even our friends,
Yeah.
friends of our family came over for Easter dinner, and
Yeah.
even they're bringing vegan options to the dinner too. So like
Excellent.
the only thing on the table at Easter was the ham that my parents had and my parents and their friends had. But everything was completely vegan, and at Thanksgiving it was the same thing. Everything that we ate was vegan except for the turkey.
Yeah. And do you find any difficulty? Did you find any difficulty with the transitioning?
We took it slow.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, first we got rid of steak, and then we got rid of chicken, and then I never really ate a lot of fish, so I didn't even go through that. Pretty much meat was off my plate.
Yeah.
At that time, there were a couple options for seitan. I think there was a seitan chicken breast at that time, so it wasn't that big of a deal. We took a real the animal chicken breast, replaced it with the seitan chicken breast, which I hate even calling it that, but
I know. Yeah.
so I took it in very, very long steps to be vegetarian for 8 years, and then now I've been vegan for over 7. So it took a while. The transition was very slow. Learning, taking stuff out, how to order. It took me a while. Sometimes I wish that I connected sooner, but we're all on our separate. Yeah, we're all on our separate journey. I mean, you hear stories of people at 91 going vegan and changing their health.
Wow, 91? That I have not heard.
Yeah.
I've heard,
Yeah.
older, but 91?
Yeah,
Wow, that
yeah.
is so cool. Like Grandma Moses.
Yeah, she had kidney disease and was given a couple months to live and went vegan and totally turned it around. And
Wow. And no, Grandma Moses probably was not vegan. I'm just saying she became an artist at 94 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very cool. Yeah, so age is not an issue.
No, age is not an issue.
Yeah, you could always start now. Okay, cool. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, he's sticking to it. He's not changing it for anybody. Okay, so my story is definitely different than his, and yet similar, of course. As I when I was very young, I was extremely into God, and which is really weird because none of my family was. I never went to temple. So it was really weird. So I don't know where this came from me, but I just was. And as soon as I found out, and I don't remember how old I was, but of course I was pretty young. As soon as I found out what I was eating, that just seemed wrong to me. I did not want to do it. It just felt wrong to me. It felt like, well, if God made them and us, and this was my philosophy back then, if God made me and the human race and all the animals, and we're all animals, I'm an animal, you're an animal, we're all animals, then it's almost like cannibalism to me. It just seemed that wrong to me. And of course, my sons laugh at me when I say that, and they're vegan, but they just laugh at me. But it's the way I felt. It felt wrong. And it also felt like, well, if they're gifts to us from God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, then how could we be hurting a gift that was given to us? It just didn't seem right. So, I was just a tot. I was really young when this just felt wrong to me. However, I was not an adult. I could not make my own decisions. And my mother used to tell me, well, you wouldn't expect a lion to eat broccoli. She used to tell me that all the time. You don't expect a lion to eat broccoli, so you cannot expect yourself to just live on broccoli either, because that's not what we do. We eat animals. We eat, everything, and you should be doing that. You wouldn't want to do that to an animal. To change their diet, don't change yours. And I had to listen to her. So, I would eat what she gave me because I had to, but I would eat a lot more of the vegetables, and I would just eat a little bit. I'm not hungry, Mom. I ate everything else. But it just was so, you know, when people ask me how long were you vegan, internally, you know, it's not official, but internally I want to say, well, I was born that way because I never wanted to, you know, I didn't know what the term was, vegan, but I never wanted to eat meat. I didn't understand about the dairy at that time. I didn't really get that. It didn't connect at such a young age. It connected later, but I just didn't like it. I remember when my mom would take me to the fish market, and I would go all against the other side of the wall and just like try not to look at the display of all these eyes looking at me. And I just, in my head, was feeling like all these eyes were crying and screaming at me and saying, how could you do this to me? And it was just, it was as far as when I saw my father kill a bug, I would have nightmares, seriously. I would have nightmares that all the bugs' families and friends would come and eat me alive. That's how much I was a vegan at a young age, you know, heart-wise. But anyway, pushing forward, at one point, it was 1998, I read a book, and throughout the years, you know, I learned a lot about animals, and I taught my sons about animals and loving them and all that. And then in 1998, I read a book, and the book has absolutely nothing to do with veganism or animal rights. It was just one line. The main character was a female, and she was, you know, a vegetarian. And her line was, how could you eat dead flesh, or something like that. Don't quote me on that exactly, but and I'm thinking, oh my God. And everything that I've always felt throughout my life just sort of flushed right, you know, just came right in the forefront of my brain. And at the same time, I was watching a special on PBS about with Gary Null. I don't know if you know Gary Null, but and it was about you know, eating vegan, and he was more into health. It wasn't really about animal abuse, but you know, what they feed the cows and all this stuff, and everything just hit me. I'm like, why am I waiting so long? I'm not under my parents' thumb anymore. I mean, I'm a grown adult with 2 kids, you know? And it just dawned on me, oh wow, I'm an adult. I can make my own decision. That sounds really weird, but it's what happened. And from that moment, everything changed. And I sat down with my family at that night at dinner, and I told my husband at that time and my 2 sons, I am becoming a vegetarian. And at that point, it was really a pescatarian. I did not know any better. And that's how I moved slowly. I didn't like cut like certain animals, you know, out. I went to pescatarian first. And I asked my sons, you know, listen, if you don't want to do this, they were in middle school at the time. If you don't want to do this, then, you know, it's up to you. They asked me why I'm doing it, although they should have known, because I raised them about how much, you know, animals feel and, you know, need our support and so forth. But they did, and I told them. And I said, well, you know, I just want you to know that if you say yes and you're on board, I might end up, if you want to go off, I might end up saying, you know what, I'm not going off. So if you want to eat anything you want to eat, it's going to have to be out of the house. And I warned them that might happen. I did not know. And they said, no, I really want to do this. So the whole family came on board, which I was so thankful for. It made my life a lot easier. I was thinking that, this was, I think, in the summer, but I really don't remember. But I was thinking, well, I think it was like 2 months before Thanksgiving, maybe even. So anyway, something like that. I know Thanksgiving was coming up, but it wasn't like right there. And I said, well, you know, I do like turkey. I enjoyed that. That's like the one thing I really enjoyed. And it was Thanksgiving. I probably will go off for that. Well, when Thanksgiving came, oh my God, the thought of it grossed me out. I could not. I mean, this is just, I don't know, 2-3 months, whatever it was. And I'm like, forget it. I could not do it. I didn't even want to be near it. And I was over my husband's family, so they had a separate stuff for us, which was appreciated. But just the smell and everything. And it was so interesting because I saw a mushroom dish. And I was already in like 2-3 months, and I was already thinking like a vegetarian. I wasn't thinking that the mushroom dish had turkey gravy in it. And I was so not used to it anymore. And I said, oh, and I just tasted it because I didn't think that turkey would be in it. And I had such a vile reaction. I actually ran to the bathroom and vomited. I was surprised in 2-3 months. Why would I it's like, but it happens,
Yeah.
it really does. And that told me that I'm doing the right thing, not only for the animals, but for me too. Because if my body was made for that, it would not be doing that. I don't think anyway. That's the way my brain works. So anyway, moving forward, I'm sorry. My friends tell me that I tell a story from birth. So, so moving forward, though, what happened is that I started to learn more and more, and I cut out fish. So now I'm just a vegetarian. Once I heard, I saw that fish really was hurting also, and it was horrible, and I just learned more about the cruelty. I ended that. In 2009, I joined a group called Hudson Valley Compassion, and it was an animal rights group, and I really learned so much from that group. It was such a godsend, and that's when I became vegan. Well, actually, I went from ovo vegetarian to just vegetarian. And then I realized that cheese had retin in it, which is stomach lining or something like that. And I said, so even when you're a vegetarian, you're not a vegetarian. And I realized, why am I playing around with this? I know how I feel, so why is it difficult? Why am I making it difficult? It's not difficult. Why am I making it difficult? Just go vegan, And that's what I did. So I was a vegetarian for 2 weeks, and that was it. Like just a true vegetarian. And I went so I became a vegan in 2009. So how long is that? That's 8 years.
Yep.
So it's 8 years now. I told my sons again, I'm now vegan. And they did not go vegan right away. They chose not to. But as soon as they saw earthlings, I came home. One day I was at work. I came home, and they're both sitting in the living room watching TV. I could not, where I was coming from, I could not see what was going on. But these are two guys, guys. They don't cry about anything. They could see violence all they want on TV and in movies. They had tears streaming down their face. And from that day forward, they were vegan. Yeah. And then they are like full out vegans. They don't even like when I have a pocketbook that looks like leather. I should not be, they're like really full out there. So I've been vegan. Now, when I met my husband, he was vegetarian, and he was vegetarian for 30 years. So his daughter never even touched meat. Never ate it. Doesn't know what it tastes like at all, which is fabulous. But he became vegan after me because he realized, what was going on. I was not shy about sharing things with him. And I knew that if he wasn't vegan, I could not marry him. But I'm not saying that you should be that way. I just know who I am. And that is such a strong value system for me that I just, I know everybody's on their own journey. I respect that. But at the same time, I cannot respect knowing something and not doing something about it. It's hard for me. It's very hard for me to do that. So, I sort of respect it, but I don't. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I respect your choice, that you have a choice, but it pains me. It literally, physically, emotionally pains me when I know people who know that they are paying to torture, rape, and murder an animal and continue to do so. I just look at them differently. I still, I have friends, I have family, I love them. It has nothing to do with that, but I just look at them differently. So I could not be with someone that wasn't vegan, so thank God he became vegan. So that was great. He became vegan before I moved in. Yay! And let me see, is there anything else? Oh, about my journey, I did not find it difficult at all. because I don't consider non-vegan food. It just went out of my brain. It was just, it's not food. I eat food. To me is a what, it's not a who. It's not food. So I never second guessed it. I have memories of liking certain foods. I don't miss anything. I don't know, do you miss anything? I mean, I remember liking things, but
No,
I don't miss it. I don't crave it.
There's a lot of things that are now easily replaced.
Yeah.
Like, salami, you can get a vegan salami now, pepperoni, buffalo wings, nachos.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything.
you can get anything if you're creative enough. I mean,
and there's recipes online.
Yeah,
and
for
tons
everything.
of cookbooks and recipe books and whatever. I mean, so whatever dish you really like, I am very sure.
Yeah, I'm positive.
I am positive. I'll say 99% sure, because you never know. There might be some dish out there that but I'm really in this day and age. There's a substitute, so.
Or if
it's
there's
really
not,
easy.
you might be able to invent something.
Yeah. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything, and it's gotten to the point where I don't even like when they use the term in chicken, whatever, I don't know, and they spell it differently. Like so I've seen tuna TOONA, but it still puts an image in my mind, and I might make the recipe, but I just don't like. I would love a place, a restaurant or whatever, where there's no correlation to animals. But in that respect, in that same breath, I do feel that it's important for people who are transitioning. I think that's a great help for people who are transitioning. So just to go further in with my journey, I'm now mostly a raw vegan. I'm not even just vegan. I'm more, because my husband and I are very into health. So we don't really do the processed stuff. Everything is whole foods. But the thing here is the reason why we did that was because my husband, who I love very much, suffers from depression and anxiety. And we both are the kind of people, we really try to do everything as naturally as possible. We're not into medications. Of course, medications are great if you need to do that. But we always try the natural path first. And if it's a must, then we'll do that. So we were always doing research about how we could help him. And I looked up raw food, depression, and all this stuff came up. And people were saying they were depressed their whole life, like he was, and now they're not anymore, and all this stuff. So I don't know if it's really raw or if it's just that you're not eating processed foods anymore. Processed foods are so bad. But anyway, so we've been raw, and it was just incredible because it changed our lives so much. And every time I go off, like this weekend for Mother's Day, I did eat cooked foods. And I just felt horrible. I just absolutely felt sick afterwards. But that has nothing to do with being vegan. That's just my journey I'm talking about. So if you want to know more about that, let me know. But that's my vegan journey. I never found it difficult at all. You might go to restaurants. If you want to go to restaurants that are, for everybody, so you can go and people can get a steak or whatever, and a vegan dish. Again, a lot of times there's no problem with that. People will be very happy to oblige you. But there are times it does make it a little bit more difficult. And I have learned not to trust so much what they do, because they don't get it. So they might end up cooking your stuff on a grill that was just cooked with a hamburger or whatever. So, or they might put honey in it, and there are some vegans that do have honey. And at the beginning I did. I don't anymore. Anyway, you just have to, see what your journey is going to be and just go through it, and that's fine. Whatever it is, just please go vegan and stay vegan. So that's it, I think. Do you have any questions? Did I miss out anything?
No, I mean, I think it's important when people come back to you about how a lion eats meat or a carnivore eats meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do eat meat, but if you look, we're not designed
No.
like a carnivore. We don't have the canine teeth, the long canine teeth to grip meat. We have very long intestines where a carnivore has very short intestines.
Now, that's important to understand why. Do you want to tell them why?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's really important.
a carnivore has a short intestine because the meat is so acidic and deadly that they need to pass it very quickly. Where we're designed to eat plants that need to be broken down, and they take a long time to absorb to break it down and to absorb the nutrients out of it. So that's why we're designed that way. We're also very slow. I mean, I dare anyone to try to take down a rabbit or a deer or any animal by chasing it.
Without any weapons. Just yourself. That's it.
Yeah, so I mean, if you can run something down, maybe I would change my mind. But if you look at the way a predator's, even their feet and back legs are designed, they're in a sprinter stance all
the
24 hours a day, where we're kind of pretty much designed to stand and walk and bend over and pick up things.
And watch
Our
TV.
eyesight's terrible.
Be a potato couch.
Yeah, I mean, our eyesight's terrible. We're not fast. We don't have the teeth designed to it. We get sick if we ate raw meat.
Yeah. Also, herbivores, which is what a vegan is, moves their jaw this way because you're mashing up the vegetables and the fruit and all that. Whereas a carnivore cannot do that. They cannot do that. So
Yeah,
that's something else. They only go this way. They can't go like that like we do.
Yeah, so there's definitely reasons why we're not omnivores or carnivores. We're definitely herbivores.
Yeah. There is one thing though that I have to bring up because I think it's adorable and it's true. You know, I heard this before, and you might have heard it too, where if you took a child, a young child, a baby, or maybe not an infant, but a baby, they could eat food, they're starting to eat food, right? And you put an apple and a rabbit right next to them, which one are they going to go for?
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
They're not going to prance over or jump onto the rabbit and with their own teeth rip it to shreds and eat it. They're not going to do it. And it's true. I mean, we're not going to do it either.
Yeah.
Animals that are carnivores, they will just chase them down, grab them, break their necks or whatever they do to kill them, and eat their flesh with their teeth. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We have to cook it, we have to season it, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to make it taste good. We don't have to make anything taste good when it comes to vegetables and fruit. It already tastes good. And seeds and nuts and
yeah, and when you see these reality shows, they never have like a plate of broccoli that the people have to eat. It's always something like the liver of an animal or something disgusting. And so obviously just right there, that we're not supposed to, if we find it disgusting to eat, then right there it's psychologically, genetically, mentally, we shouldn't be eating it.
Yeah, that's very true. There was something in my head that I just lost. But anyway, so that's our journey. And I would love to hear about your journey. Maybe you could share it on Vegan Started Life and just put some stuff down. I would love to hear about what your journey is. And if you are finding any difficulty, we would be happy to help you with that, right?
Yeah. I just got asked last week about steps someone could take to become vegan, even if it's recipes, or we share recipes on the Vegan Styled Life Facebook page. We set news. So yeah, please join the Vegan Styled Life Facebook page. Leave a review on iTunes. Follow us on Instagram. There's a lot of ways to get involved and ask us questions.
Yeah, please. Yeah. I feel like there's something else I want to say, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, yeah, so please tell us your journey. I would love to get to know you and help you if there's any way that we can. Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
And I don't have a quote.
Okay. Oh, well. No quote.
I have a quote, but it's not about veganism.
That's
Be like a postage stamp. Stick to it till you get there. I always love that one. Okay, so please like us on YouTube. Please subscribe to us. Please like our Facebook page, Vegan Style Life. We appreciate you spending your time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.